All right, so the Rangers lose 5-3 in the second game of the regular season to the Columbus Blue Jackets. And yet, I shouldn't say yet again, but just I guess you could, considering the way things went last season. But yet again, the Rangers shoot themselves in the foot, like we saw most of last season, especially in that series against the New Jersey Devils. The Rangers really, uh, really disappointed tonight in terms of their defensive play after the massive steps forward that we saw from their defensive play in the previous games, or the previous game, I should say. And even in the preseason, some of the games there, uh, it's just disappointing. Disappointing that they were not as crisp in the neutral zone, letting Columbus fly through there, not as crisp in their own end. Too many turnovers in the offensive zone and the neutral zone, too many blind passes, even in their own end when they're trying to start a breakout. Way, way, way too much of the blind passes. Braden Schneider tries dumping one behind his back. Then you have Blake Wheeler trying to dump one. You have way too much, and it sucks that the Rangers ended up losing this game because they were so good in the offensive zone. Defensively, though, terrible, embarrassing defensively. And there's really not even a single guy I could point out to on that blue line and say that they played good. The only guy that I could really say was decent was maybe Adam Fox. And outside of that, I wasn't impressed. Trouba had okay night. Outside of that, didn't really wasn't impressed by the rest of the defense. And even then, Trouba had that one big play. And outside of that, I mean, it's not like he did anything noticeable defensively, but he didn't do anything that was noticeably bad. So we'll talk about the game. Before we do, leave a like on the stream if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. But Sean, I agree. Columbus did get as lucky as we say that they got, the Rangers weren't crisp in their own end. They weren't crisp enough in their own end. It really boiled down to that. Ryan Lindgren, before we jump into anything, Ryan Lindgren was hurt for this game, which sucked. But the only thing I could say is I can't get behind the whole, if Ryan Lindgren was playing this game, the Rangers win it. I can't get behind that because of the fact that they did not produce enough offensively. Yeah, they had 42 shots on goal, but it's not like they tested really Merzlikins and Martin enough. Like, I just felt that they didn't get enough high danger chances. I could be wrong. Let's see what it was. The Rangers had, maybe, okay, I was wrong. They had 15. I mean, from the eye test, though, it seemed like most of what they were doing, they were just firing the puck from the blue line and hoping for a rebound, was sure, fine, but it was way too much of it. The power play didn't step up towards the end, which needed to, well, not the last power play, but the one before. The power play needed to step up in that third period. Didn't get a good enough power play there. That could have been a breaking point in the game, and that could have turned things around. You had the 2 disallowed goals early on. There's just a lot that went wrong for the Rangers, but I can't get behind if Ryan Lindgren was playing in this game that the Rangers win it. I can't, because Columbus clearly just had better goaltending in this game. Not better than Igor was fine. I'm not saying that was his fault, but I just mean they had goaltending that's still in their head. That's just what I mean. They just had goaltending that's still in its head. That's all I could really say about that. Igor was kind of hung out to dry for the most part with most of these goals. I don't really know how much I could argue that he could have stopped, because a lot of those were deflection goals. You had one of them being an odd man rush, and then the only goal you can maybe argue he should have maybe had is the Juracek goal. And outside of that, can't even say that he had a bad performance in this game. But yeah, let's jump into it. Columbus almost scored right off the rip. Fantilli, I thought for sure was going to get his first NHL goal there, as Columbus had a nice breakout. They got through the neutral zone way too easily, and Fantilli ended up getting denied on his opportunity. And the Rangers, not even a minute in, would open the scoring, though, as Eric Gustafsson fires a puck, and it goes off of a skate and in. And yeah, you get a nice little bounce. That's why the Rangers probably fired shots on net. They were hoping to get bounces like that for the remainder of the game. They couldn't, but that made it 1-0, and that was a nice little start to the game. And it was a good way to open things up. And it was like, all right, let's see. we open the scoring, a lucky bounce, but let's go. Let's capitalize on this. Let's get our foot on the gas. Let's put them in a chokehold and let's dominate this game like we did against Buffalo. And then we started to see it. I mean, they looked fine offensively. Hedl had a nice play in the neutral zone that led to a scoring chance. Schneider then made a mistake there in the neutral zone, and then he made up for it with a nice little stick play after. But then this was aggravating, but then you had a beautiful breakout, beautiful puck moving in the neutral zone. Lafreniere finds Gustafsson, and then Gustafsson finds Hedl in the slot. He snipes one, and it goes in. But wait, it's offsides because Alexi Lafreniere passed the puck across the blue line. Fair call. Can't really dispute that. But yeah, you have that disallowed goal. And then the Rangers just kept moving the puck around beautifully, though. The second line was looking good. Good puck movement by them in the neutral zone. Panarin got a chance alone. He had a little spin move there. Could have got the opportunity. Didn't end up burying that. And then he couldn't get the rebound either. But Lafreniere could have had a couple of assists. And I'm like, holy crap, we look so good right now. Holy crap, this offense looks good. This team looks good. And this is going to be a dominant effort. And sure thing, as I speak too soon, as always, Brain Schneider tries to make a pass around to Jones. Jones, it goes over a stick. He needs to be able to play that. And it ends up being a turnover. Marchenko gets it in front, and Jenner tips it in or taps it in off of a bounce. That made it 1-1. So, yeah, that was just the start for how bad those two played. That was just the start for how bad those two played in this game, unfortunately. But yeah, then Miller ends up turning the puck over. Columbus almost scores there, and it's like, yep, we're gonna do this, aren't we? We're gonna play like this. We're gonna play this game. But Kreider then forced the turnover, and Mika ends up taking it to the net, snipes it in, and offsides yet again. That one was a little more sketchy. I felt like the replay didn't give enough conclusive evidence to see where the puck was there. But regardless, I won't argue with it. Rangers still would have lost the game regardless if that goal counted. So it is what it is. But it felt like that killed momentum for the Rangers also. That's the only thing that's really unfortunate. But then this was another one where Miller went puck chasing around the net for whatever reason. He's late to the play. Laine puts it on net. Trouba lays his body out, and it's ruled a goal, but they review the play and it ends up being no goal. Trouba stopped it before it completely crossed the line. So Miller got a little bit of a lucky break there. Fox then off for a tripping call. I thought that was a soft call there, but Columbus capitalizes on it. Kent Johnson hits a post, and the Rangers were close to killing it, but Columbus kept them pinned in their own zone, and the Rangers couldn't get a clear. And Jenner tips a puck yet again, 2-1. Won't be the last time. Won't be the last time either. Panarin then had a nice little play there as well, and he drew a penalty there. He drew a hook from Olivier, and yeah, first period comes to an end. Thought the Rangers looked great offensively. They looked good defensively at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, faded away defensively, and they took their foot off the gas. The neutral zone play was piss poor. Like, what is the point of running the trap if you're just going to let them fly through the neutral zone? What's the point? Rangers can't score on the power play. Again, too many turnovers in the neutral zone the second period. Boy, was that not fun. Not fun. Kreider fired wide on a chance alone. I think that was the one where Cabo Kako actually made a nice pass too. Again, feels illegal for him to get points. Schneider then, this pissed me off. He turns the puck over, regathers it afterwards, and ices it. That summed up Brain Schneider's night. Brain Schneider sucked tonight. Igor then robbed the Laine with an opportunity, and the Rangers, I don't understand what happened. Do not understand what happened. All night, how many no-look passes did the Rangers try to make, and it backfired on them, like I said earlier. Too many in the neutral zone. VC had a chance in the slot. That got denied, and the Rangers would end up conceding another goal there as Kakko tried to hold on to the puck for too long. Where have I seen that movie before? He gets stripped. Columbus comes down the ice, and then Schneider tries to dump it behind the net because why not? Columbus gets an opportunity then, and then they shoot a puck from the point, and who else but Jenner ends up tipping it in. Zach Jones couldn't tie him up, and yep, 3-1 game. Then the refs miss Wheeler getting cross-checked. Columbus would then, of course, score in the same sequence because why wouldn't they? As the Rangers couldn't clear the puck, and yeah, they looked lost in their own end, and Juracek snipes one. But again, that's the one where you could maybe argue Igor should have saved that. And you got to love the Columbus fans taunting Igor as if they've had a goalie that even sniffed this caliber in their franchise history. Hilarious stuff. But regardless, Igor then had to rob Texier twice because Gustafsson turned the puck over because, again, blind passes nonstop. And that was the period. Rangers still statistically did better 5v5 somehow that period. I don't buy it. Way too many blind passes. The defense sucked. Offense was okay. But again, couldn't score. Couldn't score. And they were shooting themselves in the foot. Shots in that period were 17-10 in favor of the Rangers, though. In the first, 9-8. I think what Laviolette's going to say is what he said after a preseason game where they didn't allow too many chances, but they allowed way too many noisy chances and they turned the puck over. But we'll see what he said in the post game once those comments are up from the reporters. But third period, this is what sucks. This is what sucks. The third period is what sucks, but also good, also positive because it shows me that Laviolette ripped them apart in the locker room during the intermission because the Rangers were strong in that third period offensively. The only problem I had was nobody got a good enough chance on Martin because new goalie comes in. Why get a good enough scoring opportunity? The Rangers had the least amount of high danger chances in that period. No, never mind. The first period is where they had the least amount, but they still had 4 high danger chances on a goalie who's first coming into the game. If they could have got 9 high danger chances again, like they did in the second period, that would have helped. But yeah, not enough chances on Martin. They kept firing pucks from the point. The Rangers end up getting a chance with a puck loose right in front of the net. Nobody ends up bearing it, but Juracek goes off for an interference penalty, and the power play does nothing. Nothing. VC then had to make a defensive play because Schneider couldn't receive a pass there. Overskates it. Rangers would end up making it 4-2, though, as Gustafsson with a nice play at the blue line. Trocheck then would find Coley, and Coley snipes it for his first NHL goal. And finally, a shot came from the slot, 4-2 game. And the Rangers kept having opportunities. Trocheck, rebound in the slot, can't bury it. Trouba hits the post on one. Fox has to block a shot from Gaudreau. Lafreniere tripped, no call. And then Columbus would end up scoring yet again as the Rangers were trying to put the pressure on in the offensive zone. 2-0 comes the other way, and Danforth buries a shot or buries a pass from Cole Sillinger. And yep, that was all she wrote. Severson went off for slashing, though, and thankfully Chris Paul Kreider ends up burying a goal 5-3 on the rebound because the Rangers get a power play with what, like a minute and a half left in the game, and they decide to just not fire pucks on net. Instead, they decide to just dick around and pass the puck and hope for something. And yeah, to the surprise of nobody, it didn't work. So yeah, Rangers dropped the ball in that one. The only positive I could say is that they look good offensively. They showed out in the third period and looked very sharp. And that's promising that they at least responded and they had opportunities to potentially win this game. They just need to find a way to get better quality opportunities. The defense, though, needs to be cleaned up, especially against better teams, because if you can't play good defense against the Columbus Blue Jackets, you're going to have problems. They played fine against Buffalo, who's a better offensive team statistically. So, don't know. Don't know what happened there, but regardless, the Rangers again dropped the ball in that one. They looked like there was no effort on the defensive side of the puck. Just no effort. So I digress. If you go to the analytics, I mean, it says the Rangers dominated this game. Said the expected goals. The Rangers were at about 5. Columbus was about 3. So it says that the score should have been flipped. But again, you don't get rewarded. If you play bad defense, you're not gonna win the game. Not gonna win the game. And yeah. How about Blake Wheeler getting benched in the third period, by the way, because of how bad he was? Wasn't that something? It's going to be a rough year with Blake Wheeler if he's going to keep playing like that and being that slow. But, yeah, Adam Fox I thought he was okay. Gustafsson, the analytics show that Fox and Gustafsson dominated, but at the same time, I felt like Gustafsson left a lot to be desired, at least in his own end, which the analytics do back that up. He was not great defensively, but says he was actually decent, which I don't buy. Trocheck, it says, was good. I could somewhat see it. I know a lot of people are ripping on Trocheck, but I could somewhat see it. Coley, I thought he had a pretty good game. VC, he should probably be in the lineup over Pitlick. I thought he looked better than Pitlick did, but I like Pitlick in over Wheeler. If that could happen, but probably won't. Barclay Goodrow was next up on the chart there. Meh. Kreider. Benino. Panarin, good offensively, bad defensively. Could agree with that. Not that I thought he made anything bad defensive plays where it impacted the game, but still. And then Lafreniere and Hedl, that surprised me that they're at the bottom. I thought that line was cooking. I don't know why their offensive production was that low, but the defense, that doesn't surprise me. And then Schneider and Jones, I mean, is anyone shocked with how bad they were? Anyone shocked? Schneider and Jones were brutal. And everyone, people were saying going into the game, and I agreed that they should not have been the defensive pair. They should have went with another pairing, but whatever. You got the Coyotes on Monday. Got to be better defensively. I'm not going to freak out. It's game 2. They're still adjusting. And every single number, I know people aren't going to want to hear it, but every single number tells you that the Rangers should have won this game. And I have no doubt in my mind that they'll tighten up defensively. We saw it in the third period. We saw it against Buffalo. I have no doubt in my mind that they could turn the page. And let's just hope that they could, and quickly. And this isn't something that snowballs into a bad thing. But let's get to the chat and see. Mickey Mouse win. They'll be fine. 2 disallowed goals. I agree, Nick. Our defensive and neutral zone play was just not good enough tonight. We weren't able to establish any flow in the neutral zone and too many blind passes. Yep. 1000% agree with your assessment there, Matt. Rangers outplayed them in the third, just ran out of time. That and I felt there was too much passing at the end of the game there, and I felt that they were trying way too hard to get the rebound opportunity when they really, really needed to try and get the high danger opportunities if they could. They need to find their way to the slot, find their way to the dirty areas of the net, and not just, chasing, firing pucks from the point and rebound chasing. Yeah, those 2 opportunities kill me. Lindgren is not Slavin or Heiskanen. Our defense should not be folding because he isn't playing. He is a loss, but he shouldn't be a huge loss. I agree. That's why I can't get behind the whole, if Lindgren was playing, the Rangers win this game thing. Like, yeah, Jones and Schneider then obviously wouldn't be a pair, but Schneider still would have played tonight. He did bad. Gustafsson, I don't think would have saved that pairing. Miller, I thought, was bad tonight. So it's not like it affected much there. And again, you have serious problems if Ryan Lindgren is affecting your defense this much. And it wasn't just the defense. It was, again, plays made that led to getting pinned into their own end as well. Way too many turnovers with the blind passes. I agree, Matt. Yeah, that line was impressive, at least offensively. I'm surprised though that the analytics say otherwise. I don't think Trocheck's underwhelming at 3C. He looked fine against Buffalo, and I didn't think he was awful tonight. I thought he was okay. But I know a lot of people are hard on or harsh on Vinny Trocheck there. Yeah, that was annoying too. That Truba just refused to back check there on that 2-0, but doesn't shock me. He might have been out of gas on that shift. That's the only thing I could say. Don't dominate in the neutral zone, then you don't win games. Simple as that. Couldn't agree more, Matt. Couldn't agree more. Blake Wheeler slow and washed. Yeah. Blake Wheeler has not been good. He's been awful. He's been brutal. Anthony, I agree with the first part of your comment here. Cannot agree with that last part that Schneider needs a strong partner on the other side. I somewhat agree with it, but let's not act like Schneider was good tonight and that if he had a better defensive partner, it would have made the difference. Unless you're saying he needs someone to cover for his mistakes. If that's the case, then the Rangers need to get an entirely new third pair because that just means Brain Schneider's not good enough. Yeah, Matt, I agree. The second period lost them that game. It did. I agree, Gabe, about Trocheck becoming the 3C. He'll becoming the 2C. Power play 2 needs to work on puck movement. Both games they look slow. Yeah, I agree, Sean. And then they took a penalty in that game against Buffalo too, which negated everything. So yeah, I agree. The second power play unit's awful. Also, Gustafson should be quarterbacking it, not Keandre Miller. I'm sorry. I agree. I agree with this comment that they played well offensively, and there's no reason to freak out here. Like I'm not gonna freak out. I was pissed off, but one, I'm dealing with personal stuff also, which is taking a toll on me. But on top of that, I just naturally get pissed off. But I'm not gonna lose sleep over game 2 of the season right now. I'm just not. But if this snowballs into something, then I'll be pissed off. Then I'll be pissed off. Benino and Pitlick placeholders until young guys are brought up from Hartford. Could be. Could be. At least the Wolfpack had a good night. That's true. I'm not sure, Nick, if Kreider was offsides on that second goal. We never got a good enough replay, and I don't know how they determined that with the replay uh that was shown, but that is what it is. Even if that goal stood, they lose the game. They lose the game. The only way they would have won the game is if both their disallowed goals um were onside plays, which they weren't. Well, one of them definitively wasn't. The other one you could argue was a little questionable, but okay, Anthony, I get what you mean. Yeah, I like that's the thing though, is that if that's going to be a problem, if we're talking about Schneider needing a stable defenseman with him to help him, that Braden Schneider should be a trade asset and um be be expendable. I don't know why I couldn't figure out the word there. He becomes expendable because you cannot have a guy like that playing on your third pair. Even though it's your third pair, you cannot have mistakes like that. You cannot have mistakes like that happening on your third pair. So we still don't have any post game comments from Laviolette, which is interesting. So I'm trying to see. Yeah, there's just nothing from the post game yet, which is annoying. I know it's the beginning of the season, but something I notice is I want to see faster decision making by everyone in the lineup. A lot of guys are holding on to the puck for too long. I agree and disagree. I felt like they were out there zipping the puck around at most points in the game, but there were times where I do agree that they were holding the puck for too long, and especially Kako. Especially Kako. Happy for Coley though. Kid showing he belongs. I agree with that, Matt. Coley has been Coley's been really good. Are we going to get at all post game comments? I'm gonna end the stream and then we're gonna get the comments, right? But because I'm curious what Laviolette thinks. I wonder if he's on the same page. I wonder if I'm crazy. I just want to know. I just want to know. One positive I see is that Panarin seems to be a lot faster on the ice. I agree with that. I agree with that. He looked Panarin in these two games has looked better than I mean, not that it's a high bar, but he's looking better than he ever did in that entire series against New Jersey. That's for sure. The only thing is just like uh, the defense and the neutral zone play is just slightly better. Like they got away from the 1-3-1. It felt like at points in the game too. Like it was working early on, and then they just got away from it. And when they even when they were playing it, they just weren't playing it efficiently. And that's the thing that annoys me. Like they got to find a way to tighten that up. They have to find a way to tighten up that neutral zone play. That's the key. That's the key. Still nothing from the post game. Really. Do I wait for the post game comments or do I wrap it up here? Because I don't really have any thoughts. I pretty much said what I needed to. Team was not good enough in their own end. Not good enough in the neutral zone. Blind passes. Have a good night, Kazu. Definitely agree with that. Panarin just looks a lot more comfortable when he is skating with the puck, looking a lot more like the 1920 Panarin who could dominate games. Yeah, and if the Rangers want to make noise, they need that Panarin. Need that Panarin. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up because we are just not getting the post game comments here at all, which is annoying me. And it's probably gonna happen right after I end the live stream, but I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. Just remember, don't freak out. It's game 2 of the season. There's a long way to go. Obviously, there's concerns about them consistently playing defensively, consistently playing well in the neutral zone. Blake Wheeler's also definitely concerned, but there's nothing that's too alarming until we see it snowball into something alarming. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts though if you're watching on replay in the comments. Would love to hear from you guys watching there. Don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go, Rangers.